Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layout, and I am back with day 16 of the March Madness Sketch Challenge from Scrap Now, Sleep Later. We're going to be using this one-page sketch today, and I'm going to turn it into a double-page layout. I'm going to be using this older collection from Echo Park called Splendid Sunshine, and I don't think I actually use any of the embellishment pieces. I'm just going to be using the pattern paper on this one. I decided to use this floral piece as the banner strip on the kind of back piece of the layout, and I do end up having that banner piece go the entire length of the double page layout, so I did go ahead and cut two of them out. I just folded the piece of paper over and then cut the banner into it since it was such a larger piece and I didn't have a banner punch big enough for it. I tried to line up the flowers to see if I could match them up, but there was no consistency in it at all. So I left the right hand side the 12 inches until I could figure out how long I wanted it, because my photos are actually 4x6 photos and I didn't want to cut them down because there was quite a bit of detail in it. So you can see here that I'm just using my T-square ruler to decide how large I want the yellow background piece, and then based on that deciding how large I want that banner piece as well. And then I did go ahead and pull out the 6x6 paper pad to pull in the piece of paper that I'm going to be using down at the very bottom, which is these triangles in all of the different colors. On the left hand side I have three 4x6 photos, and those are going to span the length of the layout, but I did want to have a little bit of space on the left and right. So there was one photo that had a lot of dead space, so I went ahead and cut that down because the other two 4x6 photos were photos that I needed to have in the full 4x6. So I went ahead and pulled the yellow pattern paper over to the left hand side, and I decided that the yellow pattern paper would have been covered up completely by the 4x6 photos. So I just have it at the top part, and my title is actually going to be in that section there. I pull out my T-square ruler to get the paper down, and then I realized that I really needed to back my photos on the right. So I pull out this green paper that was part of the collection. I remember when Echo Park used to do this, they would give us the solid pieces, but they weren't actually solid. They did have a little texture to them, and they were different on each side. Like one side of this one is green and then the other one side is pink. You can see there when I'm putting the fun foam down. And I loved having those pieces in the collection so that I could map photos and, have a piece of paper that read as a solid. Of course, once I got the photo down, then I realized that I needed to ink the edge of it since I had inked the edges of all the other pattern paper. Then once I get the entire layout the way I wanted it, I go ahead and cut off the excess of that banner piece on the right hand side. Then again, using my T-square ruler to make sure that the yellow pieces on each side of the layout line up, and then tucking it underneath the floral piece. What I decided to do was have the photos line up to the bottom of the yellow piece, so it does not have to have the yellow piece shown on the left hand side. So in the sketch it calls for a small little cluster in the lower right hand corner, so I'm starting to build that. I had this scrap piece of paper of green polka dots, and I did use my banner punch to cut out a banner on that, and then I had a pink piece of cardstock as well and added that as my base to that cluster on the bottom right hand side. As I'm getting those pieces of paper down, I want to encourage you to go check out the Scrap Now Sleep Later Facebook group. If you want to join in on the March Madness Sketch Challenge, there is a $10 fee, but then you can join in the Facebook group and get lots of inspiration from the sketches as well as everyone else's post. I pulled out my embellishment books and just really looked for anything that was in the yellow, pink, and white that would work with this layout. So over on the far right hand side, I have a tag that says, "Dear Destiny, I'm ready now." And then I also added a heart, as well as I did pull a floral from the sticker sheet. And then I also have a tag over there that says "Special Memory." These photos are very special to me. This particular day was a day where one of my friend's daughter got justice for something that was done to her, and it took me a very long time to scrapbook these photos because I just didn't know how to scrapbook them because it was such an important day. And I just can't even imagine it being any other way than it is right now, because it's just an amazing layout. It was an amazing day. And I think just putting aside the fear of these layout not being perfect allowed me to really have a perfect layout, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know what it was, but when I was looking through my embellishment books, there were pieces that popped out to me that were just perfect. Over on the far left hand side, I have celebrate this, and then in that top cluster it says so thankful for this, and then in the bottom right, like I said, it says dear Destiny, I'm ready now, and then I also have that tag that says special memory. So all of those pieces that pulled out were just perfect. Oh, and then there was one more, and it says find your voice, which I thought was perfect because she was able to find her voice and get the judgment that she needed for that particular day. My title is just going to be Judgment Day. I don't know that there's anything else that I can add to that. I haven't been able to do the journaling yet because that is going to be a little bit harder to do, but I definitely want to do that. And then I also didn't want to put that out there online because it is a very personal day for us. So once I got the title down, I went ahead and built up that cluster. I added a little pink heart and then added some enamel shapes in a green, aqua color, and a navy. And then that is it for this layout. I love this layout. I have no words for how much I love this layout. So here's my final layout as well as some close-ups. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.